1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, ready.
Welcome everyone to Straight Talk TV that cares about you. And here's our Tony Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Steve. Thank you. Welcome to another edition of Straight Talk. And as Steve said, we are the show that cares about you, where the information comes from you, the people, to the people. I'm going to ask the engineer to play the Black National Anthem. Please stand in your heart and in your mind as we honor the Black National Anthem. Then we get right into this powerful program. Oh my goodness. Yes, let us march on to victory is won. And that is what's happening today in this program. You're going to meet people that are marching on to victory is won. This program is about the COVID-19 family members, loved ones that have been affected by COVID-19. We know all over the world, there's thousands and thousands. We know that people are refusing the vaccine, refusing the test, refusing the mask. What we are going to do, you're going to hear personal passion stories, real stories from people that have been affected by the COVID-19. The first guest I'm going to bring on. Oh, first of all, let's give a clap praise for the McCoy family for the Black National Anthem. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. The first lady I'm going to bring on, she has served with the Phillips 76 Company for over 35 years.
Beautiful.
She's a pioneer. She has a big heart. She's going to share with you how the COVID-19 has affected her. Please welcome Linda Holiday.
Hi, everybody.
Yes.
Yes, COVID did get me last year, December 8th. I don't have a lot of people. I live in Sacramento. I don't know a lot of people. All my friends have passed over. My family's in Oregon. Belinda is my family, so the first time I found out, well, I used to get tested every week because my niece is in the hospital business, so I would go get tested all the time. But this time I did, and I kept thinking, how did I get it? I didn't know how my doctor said it could have been from money. I was only around 2 people. My sister got it, but she had no symptoms. It took out my hair, not my length, but the size of my hair. I had a rash from my buttock all the way down to my leg. And I just lost my appetite for a minute, but I didn't have the respiratory. My sister Edna, who should have been on here today, just before I found out that I had it, I called her, and she sounded like she was dying. She couldn't talk, and I started crying. Edna had it so bad, and I mean, it took out her hair. It took out my sister Gwen's hair. Like I said, it didn't take out my length, but it took out my size, you know, but it's growing back. So, but I was very depressed. I was home alone. My sister left me, who lived with me. She didn't want to be around me. And first thing I said, oh, you gonna leave me here to die? You know,
Right.
that's what I felt. I felt like I was gonna die.
Yes.
And it's real. It's real. I really went through a real depressed stage where I would cry unconditionally. And I finally called my doctor and I said, I need to talk to someone. And I prefer an Afro-American person. No disrespect to anybody else, but I knew somebody of a different color couldn't understand what I was going through. But I got through it. I got 2 shots. My niece is in the hospital business. She will not get the shots. My son will not get the shot. I am a strong believer. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the booster because I was so sick with both shots, literally like sick. So I'm not sure if I will get the booster. I'm praying on it. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, Ms. Holiday, we are grateful and extremely blessed that we're looking at you right now. In spite of the journey, you're here right now, and you're sharing how it has affected. That's the first time I had heard those type of effects on the body, the hair, and all those different things. So we appreciate you. We're going to come back to you, but I'm going to go over to a lady who has a huge heart. Her brother, and I hope I get this right, was a first organ transplant surgeon conducted in the state of Oregon. I hope I got that right. And this family's been given, and she's helping people with donating organs. She's just pioneer. She just keeps on fighting and keeps on battling. And as the song says, she keeps marching on. And she has been affected by the COVID-19. Please welcome Belinda Bertrand. Come on.
Thank you. Yes. How I was affected by the COVID-19 virus, I personally haven't had it myself, but 2 of my family members had it. And my older brother that was supposed to be on the show today, but he is not here today to be on the show. I don't know what happened. Haven't been able to speak with him, but he survived the COVID-19 virus. He ended up in the hospital. Well, he went to the emergency room several times in Vancouver, Washington, and they were saying, you know, he had the virus, but I don't know if they didn't have any more room at their hospital. They just told him to go home and rest and, you know, do what he could. So his son, the second time he went to the hospital with him, Southwest Washington Medical Center, Peace Health, they still wouldn't keep him at the hospital. He still had a fever. He had a fever like 103 for over a week, and he was having trouble breathing. His oxygen level was very low, and they still wanted to send him home. But his son was with him, and he said, no, Dad, we're going to go to Emmanuel Hospital over in Portland, Oregon. So they went to Emmanuel, and they kept my brother. And he was there for like 3 or 4 days in the hospital, and he was really fighting for his life. He fought for his life, and they released him to go home like 3 days after he was there. They had him on an oxygen machine to take home so that he could feel better, you know, so that he can, you know, do some things that he wanted to do. But he was able to survive the COVID-19 virus, and he was so thankful that God helped him through it. And he said it definitely was a fight. And so he's gone on, and he was able to get the COVID-19 vaccine, and he's doing so much better. He's working, he's, you know, his own business owner. He does carpeting and everything, and he's still able to work and do some things that he wanted to do. But he's so thankful that he survived. It was a struggle for him. It was like 2 or 3 weeks altogether that he fought for his life.
Wow.
And then about a month ago, his son
Mm.
was down visiting friends in California, and he came back to Oregon, and he tested positive for the COVID virus once he got back to Oregon, and he was deathly ill. He said he had a bad cough. I mean, he was struggling, and he had to fight for his life, but he survived. And so far, those are the only two family members that we know of that has had the virus and survived it. But one of my daughter friends worked in at BP. He received the COVID vaccine, and shortly after receiving the vaccine, he ended up coming down with the COVID.
Wow.
And he just passed away like a week or two ago. But it was a struggle for him and his family. But yeah, so we just know how important it is to stay healthy, wear your mask, and take your vitamins, get your rest. And if you are somewhere where there's sunlight, get as much sun, vitamin D as you can. Drink lots of water and just, stay positive. God got your back, and just put your faith in God also to help you survive so that you can continue doing his mission while we're still here on this earth, because we do not know when it's going to be our time. We don't know. So we just need to continue to love each other and be thankful for each day that we're given on this planet so that we can do some great things.
Absolutely. Let's give Miss Belinda clap praise as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Belinda, I want to share with you that when your brothers are ready and available, we will be honored for them to share their story with all our viewers and with ourselves. So that platform is open for them. And I'm going to go to it. There's a lady on this call that I haven't went right to her yet, because her story is going to touch us even more than we've been touched. But I want to go over to a gentleman that he comes from a different perspective on this. He comes from the health part of it, the health field. He's a registered nurse. He serves as the vice president of the Oregon Nurse Association. He's a founding member of the Alliance of the Black Nurses of State of Oregon. And he's serving in the Western Director of the Democratic National Committee of the Black Caucus. Please welcome Travis Nelson. Let's give him a clap, please.
Yes.
Thank you, Brother Tony.
Yes.
So COVID-19 has impacted me, I think, a little differently than the other guests. While I have had family members with it, fortunately, all of my family members have beaten it. A lot of my family members have gotten both vaccines. I think it's important to remember that you're not fully protected from COVID-19 until you've had either both shots of the Pfizer or Moderna or a shot of the Johnson & Johnson. I strongly encourage everybody to get fully vaccinated, and if you're eligible for the booster, please get it. We know that when people are fully vaccinated, there's the likelihood that they will be hospitalized or will die dramatically goes down. But day in and day out, I'm working with nurses. I've been taking care of nurses essentially who have been taking care of COVID-19 patients. Nurses have had a last 2 years unlike any other. We've seen a lot of people die, a lot of people who've been seriously ill. And also remember, if somebody is a COVID patient and they're taking up a bed, you could potentially be taking up a bed of somebody who's having a heart attack or somebody who's having a stroke. I'm somebody myself who has a chronic illness. I've needed a test, a CAT scan for about 4 months now. It's been delayed because all the people with COVID-19 have been a priority over people like me who need just a routine screening. So it's super important that folks get the vaccine. Again, I strongly encourage folks to be fully vaccinated because the evidence does show that the likelihood that you will die or need to be hospitalized goes down dramatically. I'm also a big fan of vitamin D. There have been studies that have shown that if people's vitamin D levels are sufficient, that will dramatically decrease the likelihood that you will get severely ill or will die from COVID-19. So good nutrition is important, making sure that you're getting good amounts of vitamin D, and getting the vaccines are extremely important. We're seeing nurses leave the profession at a rate that we haven't seen in a long time. We're one of the worst nursing shortages that we've been in the last 30 or 40 years in this country. And we're gonna need nurses to take care of all the people who are retiring and are gonna need nursing care in recent years as all of our baby boomers continue to retire and need nursing care. So I'm looking at this from a bit of a unique perspective. And fortunately, we're starting to see numbers go down, but we need people to continue to do the right thing, from my perspective, and get fully vaccinated.
Well, Travis, hold on. I appreciate you. I'm going to be coming back to each one of these guests because we're going to get a little deeper into their environment as well and the feelings. But Travis just spoke about getting the vaccine and how important it is. I'm going to segue into a lady that's going to give you a different perspective on the vaccine. She was vice president of the Coalition of the Black Trades Union. She's the president and CEO of Dr. Audrey Terrell's Institute. And she's a staff member of Emmanuel Heart Church. This lady has been helping our youth throughout the United States, touring the HBC, getting them involved with the college. But she experienced something that's going to touch us. Please welcome Dr. Audrey Terrell.
So sorry. I'm just a little still emotional. I relocated here 10 years ago from Detroit, Michigan. I was retired from the international staff of UAW to help my son. He got married, and he had 2 small children. He married a small family, just the girl and her brother and mom and dad, and that's it. And just go through this quickly. He worked for Nike for over 15 years and just got a brand new job. He is the director of player personnel for the Utah Jazz. So they relocated in September to Salt Lake City. And while they were going there looking for a place to live, they got a phone call. His wife did, that she needed to come home because they put her brother in the hospital at Peace Health. And immediately she came home the same day. And and it wasn't well. They diagnosed him with COVID. Within less than 2 weeks, every night we went to Peace Health, stood outside of Peace Health, praying, calling on the Lord, Lord, have mercy. His church, he was active in the church. He's 44 years old. He's good in the community. So we were all out there praying for 2 weeks, and he didn't make it. He passed. Hallelujah. So we had the funeral yesterday.
Wow.
Which was very difficult for his sister, because he and his sister were very close, and his mother and father, who was just torn. And on yesterday, when we were at the funeral, I learned something. I learned a lot more from this experience, beyond the fact of the family grieving. He was cremated. When you die of COVID, you are cremated and buried, and your cremations are buried in a grave immediately. You don't stay on top of the ground. And so in doing and seeing all that yesterday, and over 200 people at the funeral home, and as my grandson stood up and spoke, one of my grandson has autism, so he don't really get what was going on. He's 16 now. And so when my other grandson was talking, and he just broke down and cried. He's hurt by losing his uncle. The other one just jumped up and ran, and he's autistic, and grabbed him. He said, my brother cried. And the whole place just went to pieces, because it's affecting so many people, the mom, the dad. So all I'm saying to you all who have not, take the vaccine. go take the vaccine, the first one, the second one, whatever it is, to keep, because it affects not only yourself, but it affects your family. My son, he just got a brand new job. He keeps flying back and forth. I hope it doesn't affect his job because he needs to be with his family right now. They're still here. People flew in yesterday. People are still here supporting the family. I'm just saying that this is an experience that I don't wish and want on nobody as a family member. And many of you who spoke, who your family survived from it, some are not. And this young man, Christian, church, active in the church, a humorous, just a lively fella, he died within 2 weeks. And it has affected the family, that they just, the mourning, the desire, the enthusiasm for life, you know, you could see it, you know, because somebody is missing out of the family. So just saying that in short, please encourage, take the vaccine. At my church today, I got up and spoke, and anywhere else I go, please, please, please take the vaccine. As Brother Nelson has said, take care of yourself too. Please take care of yourself. Do what it takes, whatever it takes. Take the right vitamins, and get your rest, whatever is necessary. Eat right, and wear your mask. Please wear your mask, because once you get it, you know, you're out of here almost. And Brother Nelson can tell you that it's a serious condition. All those people in the hospital who needs those beds for other health, once you got COVID, you know, you just take it up only because you refuse not to take the vaccine. So I am really on that. Please take your vaccine. I just came back from a couple of weeks ago from a wedding in Louisiana. My nephew got married, and that's the first thing I'm asking: have you taken the vaccine? And I found one nephew, a great nephew. He said, "Oh, Auntie, I don't need to take." I said, "Here's $100. Go take the vaccine. You go take that vaccine. You come back to me and show me. Here's $100. I'd rather have $100 than you living. You living. I'll deal with getting another $100 from somewhere else." And so I'm on that about getting everybody, take the vaccine. Because that grief is horrible, just the sorrowfulness. And it hit my family, and my family is just devastated, especially the mom and the dad, about, you know, life and living and what you need to do to keep living. So this is a time we need to do that. So please, all of us, continue to tell our friends, neighbors, relatives, co-workers, whoever, please take the vaccines. Take them all and do what it takes to avoid from getting, not only avoid from getting, but able to, as Brother Nelson has said, to deter that serious disease. And what really threw me at the funeral was they cremated the body and buried the remains. So that virus is so bad is that they don't even want you on top of the ground. So we buried the urn, the thing that we put it in. So in a little bitty box. And I'm saying, what's all this about? But this is the real world we're living in and things we need to address. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wells. Give it to Dr. Terrell. Clap for that. All right. But I'm going to come back to you, Dr. Wells, because I want each one of you to share the environment and the emotions part of it. I want to make sure I tap into everybody a little bit before we go back there. We have the pastor on the line. You know, and pastors right now have a very difficult task. They've been chosen to do what they have to do, but I don't think they was chosen or thought they was going to do what they're doing now. They are probably talking to a lot of families, doing a lot of praying, watching people cry and go through painful emotional trauma about loved ones. This gentleman, he has been affected by COVID-19 too. He is the seed of Grace Ministry. He's the chair of the religious affairs at the NAACP in Canada. Please welcome Pastor Reverend Damian Young.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hey, my name is Pastor Damian Young of Seeds of Greatness Ministries in Vancouver, Washington. Not only that, I'm the chair of religious affairs out here in Vancouver, Washington. And truly, Tony, it is a pleasure to be on Straight Talk TV. I caught COVID-19 January 8th of this year. I was currently working for Amazon as a delivery driver. Not just a delivery driver, but also a church planner. And I thought I was going to be okay and everything, being a Amazon delivery driver. In January 8th, everything changed in my life, and I began a long haul fight for my life and everything. And what happened to me was that I was at work and my body almost gave out on me. And so I was 3 flights of steps up, and I grabbed the rail because my body went out from under me, and my life has not been the same since then. It was a long haul fight with COVID-19, and still being in the midst of a church plan. I've had actually a dynamic member of mine, Karen Morrison, who, man, really nursed me back to health with the care of God and everything and his grace and everything. And so I was really blessed with that when a lot of people said, hey, we can just leave food or provisions by your door and everything. And I was told by a doctor that there was nothing that they could do. And so, that's an interesting scenario to be told when you go to a doctor that there's nothing that they can do when, you know, you pay them, you know, all your good fees and you hand them your debit card and everything, and they tell you there's nothing that they can do. And so you really lean on God and everything as your healer and everything. And so he was my healer. I thank God for him healing me. I tell everybody that I can about my testimony, about how he will heal. Sometimes, you know, hey, I tell a lot of people that, you know, hey, it was that prayer. I turned my face to the wall and asked him and said, you know, hey, I know this cannot be the end and everything. And, you know, he does respond and everything. And since then, I've been in the fight against COVID-19 over here in Vancouver, Washington. We've done a lot of things over on the side as the chair of religious affairs of the NAACP and everything to help our people be vaccinated and to help them be educated, not just educated, you know, but fully understand what this is about. And as Dr. Audrey Terrell, she said, you know, she was pleading and beseeching our people, and not just our people, but other people that are going to look on and everything, that this is real and everything. Everybody does not come back from this. My long-term health, sorry, I'm getting a little tongue-tied here.
Take the time, it's okay.
The long-term health struggle that I had was my breathing. And it was a struggle with my job. It was a struggle with the doctors, because in the beginning, they made it seem like it was a 2-week thing, like the flu and everything. And it wasn't. I struggled with my breathing. I struggled to take out the trash, struggled just to do normal things that people would do. I heard Dr. Audrey talk about losing enthusiasm for life and everything. And even as a pastor, there were good days, and then there were bad days. The bad days are the days that, hey, I was like, you know, at 44 and everything, well, I can't normally do what I was normally doing and everything. But I found my strength staying in the pulpit and everything, and keeping my energy reserved just to, hey, continue pastoring my congregation on Sunday mornings. And so, you know, where we're at now is that I thank God that I'm back to work and everything. You know, God has allowed me to go back to work. I was able to take a extensive physical, and they're like, man, you're in good shape. And that only came from like the one brother, he said, he was talking about, let me see, what was his name here? Brother Tracy Elmore Nelson. That only came, I really agree with what he said, from, you know, taking my vitamins. It was against my doctor's orders. I would go to the gym 3 times a week, get on the treadmill, take care of myself. I changed my eating habits. I said, okay, if I'm going to get well, hey, I've got to work with God in this situation. And so those are the things that I did. And so I truly agree on that. Hey, get fully vaccinated, vitamin D, good nutrition. And, hey, I agree with what he said about the nursing shortage. It is a time for our people, man, to help our people, get into some of those areas and fields and everything that there is a shortage. And so on this side in Vancouver, Washington, yes, we are, man. We're just really fully engaged in this and really helping people understand what it looks like not to get vaccinated, because it's not something you can really play with. I've had people in my own congregation that have got it, and it's a scary thing, and I've had to talk with them through it, and not just them, but family members, because when one gets sick, your family gets sick, and, hey, the community, hey, they're real worried about what's going on with you and everything, because many people don't make it from it. So I'm one of those ones today. I'm living from it. I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm saddened by hearing about other people on here that have went on to the other side of glory and everything. But that is the reason that we have to really, man, continue talking about it. And I thank you, Tony Brown, for giving me this opportunity to just sit and tell my testimony.
Well, I appreciate that. Let's give the pastor a clap praise on that. Absolutely. And when you talked about, I want to say to the viewers, we see all this on these news stations. I'm not going to name different news stations, but this is not scripted. This is straight talk. This is from people that are experienced and have experienced it and have been through the journey. They're sharing their story. And I know we can't capture in their whole journey in a few moments, but they're giving you a little peek inside of the journey. And something he said, and I'm going to go back to Linda and Dr. Terrell, when they talked about being alone. He said people would just come and put the food and say, I got to bounce. He's in there by himself.
That's right.
See, people don't understand. This is people that's doing this, you can feel however you want to feel. This is real stories, real journeys. I'm gonna go back to Miss Linda, where you talked about being by yourself and what that feeling was like. Miss Linda Holiday, please.
No, that was horrible for me. That was one of the worst times in my life. Everybody looked at like I had some kind of disease if I told them. Like, to this day, I have friends to this day here in Sacramento that act like they don't want to, oh girl, you don't have to come by. I'll talk to you later. Like I got some leprosy or something on me, I survived it, but I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same ever again. It was horrible because I looked at my sister and said, you just left me here. I feel like I was dying. I was like, you're going to leave me here to die. Who's going to come and get me? They would bring me food and leave it in my garage. Well, not my friend, the guy I dated, he left food in my garage and my niece, and then they would leave. It was not, it's real. I try to tell my niece and my son, you guys, this was real. I had the virus. They won't get the shot. They won't get it. And it's real to me. And I still think I still have symptoms. To this day, I think I still have symptoms. Like my hip hurt. I can't hardly clean up my house now. Belinda knows me. I'm always been happy-go-lucky. Linda. I'm still happy-go-lucky, but I can't do a lot of things now. So it is real. And like I said, I had a girlfriend that had COVID in Texas that I lived with. The doctor released her to go home. She was going to work the next day. The boss called because she didn't come in. Her daughter found her dead.
You touched on something. See, I want the viewers, and I'm feeling the truth, I want the viewers to feel what it's like to be alone.
No, it still brings tears to my eyes because it's like right now, it's really, because that was so hard for me.
It's okay.
It was really hard for me. Really hard for me. And I look at people to this day, and I have a different outlook on people today because they don't see what they haven't been where I've been, and I have a new outlook on life now. I live today like there's no tomorrow, because tomorrow is not guaranteed to no one. So I mean, just being alone, that touched me too. You know, I don't even know how to explain it because I tear up right now. Because that was one, I didn't, like I said, I didn't, bless me, because I'm a diabetic. So I could really have, you know, I quit smoking 3 years ago. So I gained 20 pounds. So my diabetes, A1C is spiked up. I could have been one that lost my life. Because like I said, with that rash, it had something to do with my diabetes. Because it hit me from my waist down. And diabetes always affects the legs. Because my mother passed with diabetes. So I've been eating better. I'm kind of doing a little vegan. I'm in a little vegan thing. I do take the vitamin D, 3 every day. So, but I still feel that I have that depressness sometimes, you know?
Yeah, Miss Linda, we appreciate you sharing that. I know we can't get all the way into that, but just what you have shared with the is powerful. It's powerful. And I'm gonna go to another lady who has experienced someone transitioning. She has looked into the parents' eyes that was family. Dr. Terrell, please come and share what that was like to look at this young man's parents' eyes. And you had just talked to him. Please share with us, Dr. Terrell.
They're just so, I even heard the mother say, you know, that was her world, her children. And she said, Jehovah God took my son. I don't want to live. I mean, saying what? She's, I don't want to live. My son is gone. There was no warning. There was no long sickness. You know, there was nothing. And for him to just go into it and lose it, and she's, I gotta live without him. It's so, and the father, I would go over and see the dad, you know, just knock on the door and try to say anything I could do or whatever. And he wouldn't even come to the door. And then the house was all lit up and the windows and the blinds was up and like somebody's there. But he just couldn't come to the door. And so when I finally got him at the third try, and I just gave him a hug, I said, oh, I'm praying for you. He says, oh my God, this is so hard. And the whole time at the service on yesterday, people were coming up, he cried the whole time. You know what that does to you? You know, and I'm just saying that, I'm just pleading with people. Something, take the vaccine. It hurts the family so, and you, oh, sorrow is something. To sorrow your family members, to be in sorrow. And the kids really don't understand what's going on. But it's a loss, it's a void. And I think about children. The children, you know, there's now trying to give children with 5 and above on Brother Nelson. They're trying to get a vaccine now for young children. Can you imagine losing your baby, your kid, you know? So I'm just, you know, my prayers is for Lord, have mercy on the understanding. Lord, have mercy, because there's so many sides to this, not only the death, but living without a loved one. And nowadays, it's a lot of young people leaving up out of here. A lot of young folks. And that's, to me, that's so scary. You know, God, my God. So, yeah, it's, to see people start in grieving and mourning, it's so hurtful. It's so hurtful. And I don't wish that on anyone.
Me either. Me either.
Go ahead, Miss Linda.
No, I don't wish that on no. I agree with her. I don't wish that. I don't keep.
Yes.
That grief.
What is it that we do for these young middle-aged people, like in their 20s and 30s? They don't want to take it. They don't. And I worry about my niece, and she works in the hospital. And why is it that the nurses don't want to take it? That makes me wonder, what's the problem? What are they seeing that we're not seeing?
I'm saying for sure, Miss Linda, they're not feeling what you felt. Because if you felt, I'm putting this out there, I think if they would have felt what you have felt, what Dr. Terrell has seen looking into the parents' eyes, and the mama saying she don't want to live no more, because her baby is gone. And Miss Belinda, if they feel that, if they walked in that, I think they're feeling a little different. Miss Belinda, if you can just share what was it like for you. You got two brothers that you don't know if the next time you're gonna see them, if they'll be on this side of heaven or you be praying for them. Please share that with us. You can tap into that for us.
Yes, it's just, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it brings tears to my eye just listening to what Linda has gone through and Dr. Audrey Terrell, and even Pastor Damien. I mean, it just touches my heart. And it's like, I mean, all this grief, it's just, you know, it's just hard. It's hard. It's, you know, I just can't really speak on how I really feel. It just hurts my heart to know that we're just going through so much pain and suffering right now. We just want our loved ones to understand how important it is. And yeah, it's a serious, we're living in a very, very serious time, a time that we've never experienced before. I mean, we don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. We don't know. Yeah.
Brother Tony, I'd just like to say, I'm a licensed minister. A licensed minister. I minister to people. So the word of God is so important at this time.
Yeah.
The people get a relationship with Jesus and know God, because in the word, he'll give in these times that we're going to deal with, might be, yes, you're going to deal with, he'll give you peace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? God is the God of peace, that you can hold on, go another day, sleep at night. Don't worry yourself with the anxiety into a sickness. See, so right now the role of having a relationship with Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, that's the answer. That's the only answer I see. I do prayer meetings every day from 7 to 12. Lord, have mercy. Give me peace in the situation. So that's the only thing that's keeping me together, is the relationship that I have with God.
Right? We appreciate that. For the people that don't have a spiritual feeling or higher power, whatever, they're praying for you. They're praying for blessings upon this land. And Pastor David, I want to go back to you, because what stuck in my mind when you said you reached for that stairwell.
Yes.
And your body was giving out on you.
Yes.
Can you tap into that a little bit for us?
Yeah, you know, as a result of getting COVID-19, one of the things that I was approached by the Columbian, and I did an article in the paper. And one of the reasons that I did the article in the Columbian newspaper over here was because there was this perception that you know, clergy and pastors and ministers and everything, that, you know, we don't get those kind of things and everything, or we're immune to it. And when I did the article and everything, you know, it was eye-opening in Vancouver, because a lot of people weren't coming forward and sharing those testimonies and everything. And I was just one that, hey, I got it myself. Still don't really know how I got it and everything, right. But I leaned on. Right. Don't even know, because, you know, like I said, I was an Amazon driver. And so, you know, I'm by myself every day. And I don't know if it was going into that warehouse and everything, but truly it is really only a relationship with God and everything. You know, I give all the glory and honor in my testimony centered around what God can do. Because when, hey, a doctor said, hey, there's nothing that I can do, I said, well, you know what? I know there's somebody that can do something. And so, you know, hey, I would tell people, if you don't know Jesus, really get to know who he is. I mean, truly, he is what he say he is. He's truly a healer. He's that one still in Exodus that says that, hey, I heal you from all your diseases and everything. And he's no short of his word and everything. And truly, it is all about having a relationship about Jesus. And that was one of the reasons that I did that article in the Columbian, was to help, you know, pastors and everything, because one of the things that I do out here on this side in Vancouver, Washington, is get all pastors and churches together and everything, so that we can dismantle racism within the church, and helping them understand that this is real and everything, you know, that we've got to work hand in hand with God and everything. You got to make sure that your members, hey man, know the Lord and everything, and not just know the Lord and everything, but that, you know, because there was some that on one end, and I'll speak about two groups right quick. There's one group that think, hey, we don't have to take the vaccination because, you know, hey, we're saved and everything and filled with the Holy Ghost. And then there's the other group that, hey, we're practicing, you know, hey, the Bible with, hey, good medicine and understanding what it is that the doctor would have us to do and everything. And so I'm in group number 2 that believes that, you know, hey, it's all got to go hand in hand, that I've got to work with God and everything. I can't just pray, but I got to seek and knock. I got to, you know, I got to do those things that, you know, have good nutrition and everything, you know, it's all got to work hand in hand and everything, mind, body, and soul and everything. And so, you know, that way, hey, you know, that, hey, that prayer, you know, it's a holistic thing with Jesus, you know, not just a, you know, a piece of it, but it's a mind, body. God wants us to have life and have it more abundantly and everything. And that means, you know, hey, everything's got to work together. And so for me, you know, I mean, even sitting talking about it today, I'm just grateful again. I just giving him praise. You know, it was, I'll say this in closing. If there was anything that kind of set my relationship on fire with God again this year, that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. And like I heard, if there was anything to keep on running for Jesus a little bit more, that was it today. That was it. You know, that was that thing that it was like, man, God, if you left me here, I'm going to continue doing what you would have me to do. And I'm going to do it even at a faster rate and let everybody know that I can, you know? And so I'm grateful to, you know, have this voice today. I just feel a testimony coming on and a shout.
No, I hear you.
I'm grateful to talk today.
We feel this because you come up.
I got grateful again.
Say that. Say that.
I done got
Preach.
grateful again. I'm trying to tell you. I done got grateful again.
Pastor
I'm
Damien,
trying to tell you.
you came a long way, sir, from
Yes, sir.
the
Yes,
man
sir.
that put his hand on the rail and his body was gone.
Yes.
We can't even get inside of your thought and your mind.
Right?
You felt that and how empty and how scary that must have felt. So in closing, Pastor Damien has shared his few words. I'll go down the line and just share your last few words to the people, a message that you want to have. Miss Belinda, please come and share yours.
Yeah, excuse me. My message is for everyone to love each other. And if you can give somebody a helping hand, just be kind and share your love to let them know that there is a God and God loves us and he will protect us. We just have to believe and keep the faith.
Miss Linda, please come and share closing thought before the engineer starts running the music, the closing thoughts for us.
Yes, I was looking at Meet the Press this morning, okay? And they were saying that, I won't mention his name, that ex-person that was around is God sent him down to save all the people. That's not true. Don't listen to that because that's the devil talking. And I promise you, God is the only person that I can trust in this world today. Only person that I'm going to trust in this world. And I'm going to talk to young people. And I'm going to keep talking until I turn blue and purple. I'm not offering no money. You got to get the vaccination. And I continue to talk to my family. And I'm going to talk to people that I see on the street. Hey, because I sure, somebody come to my house, are you vaccinated? Because you're not coming to my house unless you are vaccinated.
You're not going through that again.
No, I'm not going through that again. And I hope I don't have to go through that again.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
I came from, because I have to live.
Yes.
So I just pray that it never happened to me again. I don't know if I'll make it this time.
Please keep sharing the testimony, because the testimony and the journey of what you people have went through is what is going to touch people if they listen. If they listen and feel what you have to say. Dr. Durrell, please come with some closing thoughts, and we just appreciate you as well. Dr. Charles.
Very short and simple. Please, please, please take the vaccine. Please go to Walgreens. Stick your arm out there. Please. You can pray all you want. Pray. I want you to pray. I pray.
Yes, ma'am. Preach.
Do that. You can go to church all you want. But please, go stick your arm out there and let them give you a vaccine. Take all 3 of them. Shingles, since you're there, take that shingles. Take that flu. Whatever. Anybody no age, take the vaccine. Please, I beg of you. God loves you. I love you. You want to live. Don't even take the chance. Take the vaccine. Please, take the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Durrell, Linda Holiday, Mr. Linda, Pastor Damon Young. We are so appreciative. And when you talk to other people in the community, if they want to come and share their story, because this is therapy. This is therapy for all of us, to hear the personal stories. The people, again, not religious. It don't matter. They're parents anyway. They said protect yourself and your family. That's on you. We appreciate each and every one of you. We look forward to doing this again. Keep getting the message out to our people. Straight Talk is the show that cares about you, where the information comes from the people to the people. Love is the answer. Who cares what the purpose? Have a blessed day. We thank you. God bless all of you. Go ahead, brother. Thank you.
Amen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Thank you.